Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan, founding partner at Hashed. Hashed is like a crypto fund since 2016, always positioned as like a bridge between the Eastern market and Western market. Today, we will talk about like how Web3 application can bring a real value. Real value is a little bit, meaning is broad, but we'll elaborate what is the meaning. So today, Stefan from Outlier Ventures and Christopher from Triton Liquid Fund. So can you introduce yourself? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, Ryan, and thanks everybody for attending this panel. I know it's the fourth day of the conference. It's not easy. A lot of people have left already after the second day, but it's good to see that interest in the future, in particular here on the venture stage. Thank you so much for staying and paying attention. Thanks to everybody. So I'm Stefan, CEO and founding partner of Outlier Ventures. We're the world's largest Web3 accelerator. And unlike VC funds, accelerator have a slightly different function in Web3 or in general for startups. And in particular in Web3, they are critical. They are critical to produce startups that are and projects that are covering all the areas of expertise that are required to successfully launch a Web3 project, which is very different to a SaaS business or a platform marketplace. We've now worked with 350 companies that we have in our portfolio, 50 listed tokens. We are an 80-people team, and those 350 companies have created a combined value of around $12 billion. So we've been doing this for 10 years. We know what we are doing, and I'm glad to look forward to this discussion and see where the real value is in Web3.
Yeah, thank you. Christopher?
Yes, I echo that. Thank you all for attending. My name is Christopher Keshen. I'm the CIO and founder of Triton Liquid. So what Triton is effectively a liquid VC fund. And we'll dig into what that means over the course of this panel. But what our fund does is we effectively combine qualitative and quantitative research to construct a portfolio of liquid assets and then balance that portfolio according to data metrics. So on the qualitative side, we do about 20-page write-ups on average. These are VC-style deal memos. They go through comprehensively, effectively how a venture capital firm would look at one of these early-stage companies. We then divide those into sectors. So we track 24 different verticals across the industry. And for each vertical, we create regression models to understand what on-chain data we can pull that will allow us to understand what the primary price drivers are for each asset in the category, each of those 24 categories that we track. So with that qualitative and quantitative research, we construct a portfolio and then monitor the data to actively rebalance that portfolio. Similar to venture capital, but with the added element of liquidity, which we'll dive into on this panel, that allows us to manage that portfolio real time. Also, we are as of yesterday, the second licensed fund in the ADGM. So behind Brevin Howard, we are the only other liquid crypto-focused fund in ADGM. So we went out with that press release today. So exciting time and very apropos for me to be on the panel today. Thank you.
Yeah. Very long introduction. We'll talk about the real value. So I want to hear like how you define real value. It should be maybe a number of user or like maybe TVL or like maybe market cap. So how you define the real value? Maybe you start.
So while you were hinting at quantitative parameters, which, yes, we can discuss about which of these are good indication for the activity happening in Web3. Real value gets created when the digital economy is running on Web3 rails. And not only when the digital economy is running there, but in particular, and that's the next level, if we can connect the physical, the actual, the physical economy to the digital economy, when we can represent the physical economy in a digital world. And we've just released a new thesis that we are currently rolling out. It's called the post-web thesis. And I would love to talk a little bit more about that, what that means and how we see this, or the internet, to be shaped in the new era. We are adding a fourth pillar to read, write, and own. And this fourth pillar now is delegate. So it's read, write, own, and delegate. And we call this the post-web. And our thesis is that more and more of the internet, as we know it today, is actually disappearing. And I would love to come back to that later.
Christopher?
Yeah, so just to build on that, to take a big step back, what's meant by read, write, own. So Web 1 was technically read only. You could visit a website, look at the content, you could read it, right? When people refer to Web 2, that's read, write. That would be something like Facebook, where you can read what is posted, but also interact with that, post to it, and write to these public interfaces. And then Web 3 is a step beyond that. That is effectively crypto, where you can read, write, and then actually own components of the underlying protocol around which you are operating. So that's what's meant by read, write, own, and effectively what people refer to as Web 3. So when we talk about real value, what do we mean by that? So it's effectively what do you own as an investor when you have this own component of Web 3, and that is an actual token. And what is interesting and unique about this space that sets it apart from other asset classes is all of these companies are early stage companies, right? So they should be vetted effectively like a VC would from a qualitative perspective. But rather than having your ownership represented in private equity that's locked for until the next fundraising round or an IPO, any sort of liquidity event, instead of that, what you have is a liquid token that represents ownership in this early stage company that is tradable from the beginning, right? So what this emerging asset class is, in essence, is some combination of venture capital, but with public equity dynamics, where you have, in essence, a stock that represents ownership in a company that is early stage. That's why you have all the volatility. And so the actual value is in that token, right? The real value that we're discussing on this panel today is the token that you are holding that should increase in value proportional to the growth of the company that backs it and launches it.
Yeah. So both emphasize like read, write, own, and delegate, and maybe Christopher will emphasize like owning from the beginning. So definitely, the environment should be very, very different from Web 2. So as a Web3 founder, how do you think about like the challenges from Web3 founders, which is not encountered in Web 2? Christopher, maybe you can.
Sure. Yeah. So I think the primary challenges for Web3 founders is regulation, right? Again, this is a new asset class. This is not public equities. This is early stage venture that is tradable. And so that's why you see all of these lawsuits and Wells notices from the SEC. And so from a founder perspective, what you have to grapple with, I think first and foremost, is a lack of clarity on the regulatory front. In the US, what has been attempted to date is to basically fill in existing securities laws to try to fit this new framework. And what I believe is that a whole new regulatory framework needs to be developed around this asset class. And founders do not have clarity on that. In the US specifically, I know many founders who have gone to the SEC and asked for clarity as to how they can launch in a compliant manner, and no clear guidelines have been given. Here in the UAE, and the reason that I domiciled my fund here is because there is an actual progressive regulatory regime that is interested in and actively attempting to create that clarity for founders. And so I believe the UAE and specifically the ADGM and FSRA will be a place that leads this creation of a novel framework for regulation that will allow founders to come here with clear guidelines, be able to launch a project and not be at risk of being served some sort of Wells notice ex post.
And Ryan, let me answer your question by partially coming back to what I've mentioned before already. I see two main challenges for founders in the Web3 space. The first one is, as a relatively early stage project, how do you cover all these different areas of expertise? Token design and engineering, regulatory and legal was just mentioned. The different programming languages, each network or layer one has often a very different programming language. How is your go-to-market strategy? Who are your community, your end clients, and how do you approach them? There's so much to cover, and most early stage teams don't have, while they cover some of those areas of expertise, they cannot afford very early to cover all of those. And this is where we as an accelerator come into play. We help them with, depending on where across these dimensions they need more help, our 80 people team of world leading experts that have now done this for 10 years can jump in and hands-on help those founders. So that's how one of the key challenges for founders and how we are helping the founders to overcome this. Now, the second challenge for founders is a little bit, where is it going? Where's the internet going? Where's this technology developing towards to? And we've seen a lot of people trading meme coins and focusing on the attention economy, and but I don't see that much real value there. It's a lot, it is about this attention, but I think it's a way to compete with the current Web2 on the current paradigms. But when looking a bit further ahead, this is where our thesis comes into play. We think that more and more of the internet, and this is both including apps as well as websites, are going to be replaced increasingly by conversational AI. We see this already, it's happening, and there are a lot of centralized models, and there will also be decentralized solutions coming up to that. But now the next question is, this AI makes in particular sense and is has a significantly increased usability and trust if it does run on decentralized rails. So only AI in combination with Web3 rails is the real powerful thing that enables adoption and scaling of the use of this AI in a trustful environment. We've been writing about this since 2016. We invested accordingly. We incubated Fetch.ai. We were the largest backers of Ocean Protocol. They've now merged into ASI. There are various other AI-related projects in our portfolio for the past 8 years already, and slowly the world is waking up towards that. But there's one level further that this now goes, and this is where the fourth pillar of, after Web3, delegate comes from. We see most of the digital economy in the future, and also the combination of the digital and the real economy, the physical economy, being represented by agentic networks, agents dealing with each other on behalf of the user, on behalf of the client, whether it's a corporate or an individual. And this turns this attention economy now into an intention economy, where I, as an owner of a particular, via my conversational AI, I can program my bots that are acting on my behalf to follow my directions, represent me in the digital and real economy, not only by certain NFTs for me, but also buy cars, buy houses, enter into mortgage transactions, all types of things that we can cover with with this technology increasingly over time. And this second challenge, where increasingly also the very innovative people around the globe are, seeing and sharing this thesis and this development, and we are clearly trying to help them see this. This is where we can also help them. We have this portfolio of 350 projects. There's so much value creation potential as being part of our ecosystem and our larger portfolio. Most of this technology is modular, can be applied at different layers and verticals. And this is the second challenge for founders, and we can also help with that one.
Yeah, both are mentioning like a very meaningful challenges, like regulation-wise, and also like founder cannot do everything, like a Web2, so they have to collaborate each other in the decentralized network. And we obviously know we have to talk about like the attention economy, the market speculation. So right now, like even though a lot of founders around me and investors, they talk about this decentralization ethos and blockchain ethos since 2016. Actually, ICO started, but still, speculation, attention economy works, and the founder who can get attention from the market, they can lead to a centralized exchange as earlier than any other project, which is making real product and real adopted application. So how do you see this attention economy, and how founders get a benefit from this phenomenon?
So when we look at the past, 8-10 years in Web3, we've all seen the ups and downs of listed prices. And listed prices are, very good, and also good for funds, and people to be able to get access to certain aspects. This ownership aspect of Web3, being part of a movement, is critical and is fundamental. But they also distract, right? And we've seen this a lot over the years with the founders. Their price goes up times 5 or times 10, and everything looks very different to 6 months later when it's again down 85%. It drives people crazy. And so having a very early stage project listed is not just a blessing, it can also be a curse sometimes if people are not disciplined enough to be able to, abstract a bit away from the listed price and its movements. But what Web3 uniquely does is it enables innovation, and it enables founders who are innovative, no matter where they are based, no matter whether they have a large access to large resources or not. Web3 enables founders to immediately compete globally. And that's a key aspect here, in particular for founders based in growth markets, as we call it, and whether that's the MENA region, Latin America, Asia, across the world, Africa. It enables people with a laptop to immediately have a global stage. If you come up with a technology solution, it's generally in Web3 applicable globally. Now, the second aspect is because of these listed prices and this speculation a lot. Yes, it's good, you can get attention. If you have a very good vision, and this vision is not only 2 or 3 years ahead, but 7, 10, 15 years ahead, yes, that vision might be reflected in a price of your listed asset. And now you can, on the back of that price, you can actually make that vision happen. So we see this a lot, that in Web3, founders don't need 50 or 100 million, $300 million of venture capital in the classical sense, because with that listed price, you can incentivize your end users and other participants in your ecosystem to make that vision come real without just having to spend a lot of money on user acquisition. It's that listed price that helps you to get there. And it's about being able to manage this in a sustainable way and trying to avoid, with your particular project, but also across market cycles, trying to avoid this extreme volatility as much as possible by communicating well.
Yeah, very well said. And to add to that, so this speculative aspect of this asset class, the attention aspect, is, again, as was mentioned, is both a blessing and a curse, right? One, you can raise capital from the public market effectively with a white paper, right? And then what investors like I am doing is looking at this project and saying, okay, can this fulfill its vision? And will the token price increase proportional to the growth of the company? And will they be able to execute, right? So that is definitely a plus. The other side of that double-edged sword is that then your company is viewed based on your asset price. So that can be great in a bull market. Everyone's making money. Your asset is going up. But in traditional venture, you don't see the volatility of what's happening, right? Because it's not mark to market. In crypto, you do. And that can be problematic for founders for a couple of reasons. One, they have a liquidity event far earlier, meaning they can effectively raise the capital for the project, cash out to some degree without building anything, and walk away, which is hugely problematic. And then the second is that, again, your company is viewed based on how your token is performing. And that is driven by myriad factors that have nothing to do with the fundamentals of your company. It can be hype around the vertical that you're operating it in. It can be just traders pumping your token for some reason. There's a lot of speculators, fast money in this space. So that adds myriad complicating factors. So I think that whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. It is. This is a component of this asset class, and it's the prerogative of the founders who launched this asset to handle that with care. And your token price can be a phenomenal marketing effort on your behalf if it runs, but then you are expected to grow into that valuation, and if you don't, it tanks, and it could drastically impact your business. So it is a fundamentally new paradigm that we've not seen before. It comes with all of these problems, but I think there's both problems and opportunities on the behalf of founders.
Yeah, I think there's risk and opportunity. Risk, obviously, like a founder, after quick cash out, and they can just run away. There's a possibility. There's a huge problem. At the same time, like if you have you can deliver really good vision, and you can spread out the vision to the community very fast, then the financing is really, really easy, and they can make an easier way to make a business. And as a VC, I think we need to verify this founder can deliver the product in time. And I think the more smart money have to come to the market to like filter out like a lot of the fraud. So I think the last question would be the maybe market sector. So early stage accelerator and liquid fund. So what type of the sector will be flourish short-term, mid-term in crypto, like maybe next year and like within the next 3 years?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the greatest product market fit to date has been stable coins, right? You can send billions of dollars in a matter of seconds globally, 24/7, bypassing the banking system. And I think that has truly reached product market fit. So that is immediate. I think that some interesting future applications and what I'm excited about is the ability to decentralize the entire tech stack, meaning that you are storing your data on a decentralized platform that cannot be censored or removed. You are putting compute on a decentralized infrastructure, rendering on a decentralized infrastructure, and then you, of course, have the front end that the user interacts with. And I think that is a beautiful new paradigm where you can create an application that cannot be pulled effectively, which we've seen a lot. Yeah, I think we have very limited time, so I'll stop there. I have a lot more to say on this, but find me after if you want to hear more.
And for us, it's all about this new thesis, this combination of how AI, in combination with blockchain, is going to shape the new internet. There are a few infrastructure tools that are required for this to happen as well. One of them is DePIN, a decentralized physical infrastructure. All these agents tapping into different resources being available across the globe and digitally. The second one is the tokenization of real-world assets, either real assets or intangible assets or financial assets. And that for me includes also identity and data. The intersection of those three areas, AI, DePIN, and real-world assets, that in combination is going to be the new internet as we will see it in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, today I will wrap up our talk. Thank you for coming here and listening our panel's talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.